I have a special podcast for you today, something a little unexpected. I have a panel, a group of powerful women. We are all sharing the stage for 262 Movement Women to Watch Summit, March 7th and 8th. And you know what? You're going to get a little taste of what you will see in the summit. And oh my goodness, what fun. I think I'm going to have to do more of these. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Art of a Meaningful Life podcast. I am Carmen DeValis, your host. And oh my gosh, can you see? I have some amazing guests today. I have to share when I was really young, I didn't have a big vision of what I could or couldn't do. And I think it was really pretty limited, honestly. And however, now that I'm 60-ish, almost 70, I'm pretty clear on, a vision to like foster this movement where creativity, compassion, kindness, and love are really just seen as our way of life and not something we have to stop and think about and do, but that is just there. And that part of that is this podcast for me, and in particular today, because this is going to be so much fun. I have a variety of amazing women who are doing some really surprising things, and you're going to hear all about that. And we're going to talk about meaning in life. And I have the great honor of sharing a stage with the 262 Movement Women to Watch Summit, March 7th and 8th. So welcome everyone. And I'm going to introduce one at a time here, and we'll start with Carroll. Carroll is storyteller, podcaster, speaker, and entrepreneur. Welcome, Carroll.
Thank you so much, Carmen. And I'm so excited to be here with these other incredible ladies. Your podcast, The Art of a Meaningful Life, just that statement alone, the title of your podcast, isn't that what it's all about? To figure out how to have a meaningful life. And yes, I wear many hats, literally, and in my world. And you know, I believe that the art of having a meaningful life is to realize it's not about me. It's it's who we surround ourselves with. And for me, and in complete respect for all faiths, it starts with God for me, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I'm surprised and grateful to wake up every day. And I am so honored to be given the gift to share time with people like you all. I believe storytelling is how we learn, it's how we teach, and there's no discrimination when you just live and learn through people's stories because they are what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're I think the art of a meaningful life is to have a real life in each present moment with the people you're with. For me, the meaning in my life is what's being shared right here in this present moment. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Carol, thank you. The power of presence, right? Being present for one another. And what an honor to be here with you. And what you're saying, it resonates with me. And the older I get, the more it resonates. It's that being present with another person, like agenda free, right? Just really taking it in and then responding once we've had a chance to process, not
Yeah.
at the time. And then presence with one another, which is what we're doing today, connecting with people virtually or in person is just so powerful, so
Mm,
powerful. And
mm.
I know you're doing this in your own podcast, in other work you're doing.
Yeah,
And
I have everybody, please, everyone's welcome, whether as a speaker in a group, as a listener, visually, just the listening. The name of the podcast is Conversations with Carroll, and it is a global podcast, which I'm so grateful for because one of the greatest gifts I have to say of the pandemic that you know, is that we are more connected globally.
yeah.
This was something we experienced globally. It gives me chills to think about it. And a time where I feel that many feel disconnected and many feel fear and many feel judged and unworthiness. I absolutely hope that on this podcast, on all podcasts, but on Conversations with Carroll, that people realize how important they are, that they're loved, that they matter, that their stories matter, that they're, children of God, of love and light. And really and truly, I have found that through our conversations, it has been so cool for people to realize we are more alike
Mhm.
and much more connected than we are not.
Absolutely. I see all the head shaking.
Amen, sister.
I mean, we need to be curious, not judgmental, right? You
Right.
know, we all do, everyone's doing the best they can, and we all come from different backgrounds and different stories.
Mhm.
And we're all evolving. And, I feel that our purpose is the same. It's to help each other on the walk home.
Right.
And I'm just so thrilled. Yeah, everybody. I hope, let me see, I might be missing just a couple of you as guests on the podcast, but come back. And those that haven't been on, come on.
Kazemaru, I was Maru. Did I say Kazemaru?
Yes, yes, very nice. No, it's fine.
I'm so imperfect. Which is fine. You are a psychic medium, which I find so intriguing. And you happen to live in my favorite state. No offense to Texans, but Hawaii is my favorite state, my favorite that I've ever lived in and visited. And I am so curious to hear what your thoughts are around a meaningful life and what you do, and also connection. I mean, I know what it's like to be in an island out there, which would feel somewhat disconnected from the mainland USA and other countries.
Yes, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's lovely to be with all of you fascinating ladies on this podcast. And yes, I think Hawaii is my favorite place too. And, I don't feel disconnected at all. I really feel like I'm in the middle of the universe. And for me, like that really actually connects to my meaning of life, because something that everybody knows about Hawaii is the spirit of Aloha, which is very much the spirit of sharing and caring and just giving of your heart of love. And for me, that brings real meaning to life. It's nothing external. It's very much like the connection and how we like share this place on earth together and care for each other. And another thing I think that for me carries a lot of meaning that also is very connected to Hawaii is walking with one foot in each world, the seen and unseen. And for me, there are many, many levels to that. Even to have a conversation like this, like we do today, it's like we talk in a way about unseen things, but we carry that into our world, like how we communicate, how we connect, how we share good feelings with each other that like uplifts the spirit, the soul of each other and others. For me, that is crucial in life. Without it, there would be no meaning, no matter what.
Yes.
But it also, since I was born, basically, like since I was a little child, the unseen was always very present and sometimes more real for me than the world that you can touch and see. And when I'm able to bring that also to others, how real that spiritual realm is and the undying love that exists, that brings me not just meaning, but great joy. And it makes me come alive, and that's something that I love in life. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and the I so love what you're saying, and I can relate to that. In the Hawaiian Islands, when I stepped off the plane, it was like this overwhelming feeling of you're home,
Home. Yeah.
you're home. And it was
Yeah.
so like the weight of the world was off my shoulders. And in spite of all the things that were going on in life, like they do for all of us, right? I was like surrounded by this magical place that I couldn't. There was great beauty, no doubt, but there was so much I couldn't see, but I could feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something in the culture that is alive and well. And I know that many people who are like ultra like famous or billionaires or something like that comes here and feels great ease. I remember Janet Jackson mentioning this, that their family used to come here. They feel great ease because nobody cares if you're famous or what your name is or what your position or what you have. It's still like spirit to spirit connection in a sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I find that beautiful to connect in that way with others.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
I want to throw something out because I can't step. First of all, Hawaii, my God, the beauty just, I'm in awe of, and I'm so grateful I've been able to visit there. Something
Yeah.
you said though, which I'm covered in chills again, and you said sometimes the unseen for you as you have walked through this life seemed more real
More real. Yeah.
and the seen. And I'm going to sit with that because Kazemaru, I think that is so beautiful. And I do think so often the unseen is what's eternal, not the seen.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
My chills almost hurt. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm
It's
I'm
lovely.
likewise, Carol, I'm so intrigued by that. And when you say the unseen, is this a feeling that you get or you see, or what is that about the unseen for you that is apparent?
It's all levels. I see things, I hear things, I feel things. And if we take it like to feed in a little bit to what Carol was mentioning, um, where I feel the greatest energizer or ultimate love is really in the ultimate source of life and love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unseen. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also like there is a realm of unseen that I feel informs and takes shape in the seen. And it all starts in the unseen, in like just like when we feel something and then we express it. It's like it first comes from inside. It's a feeling you can't really put your finger on it, but it's unseen also. Even on that level, it first starts inside and then it manifests how we say things, walk through this world, act, express ourselves.
Yeah.
But there's another level where there is a like spiritual realm that is, like Carol said, it's eternal. It's unconditional love that sometimes I feel almost like I wish everybody could tap into that unconditional love because the world would be such a much a better place.
Uh-huh.
There's such a fulfillment in that, and it never ever drains. It never ends. So there's no competition, or nobody can have more than the other. It's unlimited for everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for many artists I've spoken to and myself, we tap into that regularly.
Yes.
When I'm doing my thing, I am completely not thinking there's no time. There's
No,
no, I'm not
exactly.
thinking, oh, this will be better than that. I have like zero agenda. I am,
Yes.
and I actually get
Beautiful.
called to where I need to be, and I allow that to happen. And that to me is my happiest, most joyful that same easy feeling that I had living in Hawaii. So I brought that with me. I
Yeah.
brought that with me that
Good.
right?
Oh,
And
good,
we all
good.
have our ways,
That's the
right? We
way.
all have our
That's the
ways.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much. I want to hear from Melissa Heathers. Melissa is a creative visionary, author, speaker, TV host, and all from a place of love.
I try. I have to speak after you,
Do it.
Kazemaru. That was beautiful. I have to agree with everything you're saying. The real source of life and meaningful life is from the intangible, the things that we can't see, but the things we feel within us. And those things bring me so much meaning in my life. So thank you for sharing that. That was really beautiful. Carmen, for me, when I hear the phrase, what does a meaningful life mean? Right now, in this moment, honestly, for me, it feels a little less pressure. For a long time in my life, meaning felt tied to doing and showing up, for everyone else, holding it together for everyone else, proving my worth through my effort. But now it feels quieter for me. It feels like I'm choosing myself with compassion. And, I write about duality. So listening to both my head and my heart and letting them coexist instead of compete. And a meaningful life. And it's a meaningful life for me when I'm living in alignment and presence. So small moments of alignments are just as powerful as the intangible things. So and honoring my needs alongside my responsibility without guilt. It's an understanding that I don't have to lose myself in order to love and serve others. And again, for me, meaningful life is when I get to show up, grounded, open, self-led, creative, pursuing my visions. And it all comes from a place of wholeness rather than depletion.
Mhm.
Mm.
Melissa, you left me speechless for just a second there. I just have to take that in. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if I had heard you say all that you did, the responsibility without guilt, and that the essence of needing to like having to do things or achieve or reach certain goals, that's not the meaning. That's not what it's all about,
No.
right? And from that inner place, if as a younger woman, had I heard that lost in the hustle and the busy,
Mm.
I probably would have like, what the heck is she talking about?
Mhm.
Because for
That different
me,
version.
yes,
Yeah.
because meaning at that time was for me, and all that I knew was that little bit of time for myself, and even then I felt guilty. Was the
Mhm.
rest, and many women, I know you can relate to this, right? We have to hustle harder and work to get noticed and to do what we need to do, and then we're also doing it all in other ways. And how did you come to a point where you said, hold on, that's not the way?
Um, well, it was through my darknesses and tribulations. I had, Liz, many darknesses in my past, and they were my gifts and my blessings. I didn't feel that in the moment. I was in a world of uncertainty because I lived in a world of certainty for so long. You grow up, you get married, you have a white picket fence, kids, all of that. So those trials and tribulations, they were my evolution to be able to slow down, align my mind, body, and spirit, and just be aligned and have that openness so I could have a meaningful life.
Anybody here relate to that a little bit? Yeah. Melissa, thank you.
So cool. I hope all the listeners, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm just so excited. Y'all all inspire me so much. But really and truly, Melissa, I don't know that I'll say any of us or any of the listeners, I hope they're really listening to that you took what was very dark
Hmm.
and created you changed that, the perspective, and you were grateful for the darkness because it led you to this beautiful light. And I so appreciate that about you. Anyway,
Love you, girl.
Yeah. And Melissa, I imagine that wasn't like an easy thing to do.
No, it was a huge
thing, right?
Transformational journey.
Yeah.
But that transformational journey, it's like what leads you to your best life and the meaning of your life. Without that transformation, you're probably just going to stay stuck over here.
And like step by step by step by step to get there, right? I don't know if in the midst of it, did you say, hey, I know this is going to really be big meaning for me in the future, or just kind of get through it? I just need to get through this.
I just needed to get through it.
Get through it. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Oh my, so I just goosebump moments there. You guys are just awesome. Awesome. I would love to hear from Liv McBride. And Liv, are you coming from the UK?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Oh my gosh, I thought I saw that. Liv is a certified lifestyle medicine practitioner, and I'm excited to hear about that and to hear your take on a meaningful life.
Yeah, so I mean, not a lot of people know what lifestyle medicine is. So it's the use of lifestyle as medicine to prevent, treat, and reverse chronic disease. So things like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, heart disease, cancer. So I work with people and I just help them to, look at their lives, see what could be driving disease, help them to understand, what's the root cause of it. And then to help them actually, identify where they can make changes that's going to have a big impact. And then help them actually, the transition of change, which can be very difficult for some people. And it takes a long time to just sort of get to know yourself. And as you were saying, step by step, just one thing at a time, building that momentum and seeing some amazing, amazing health transformations. So a lot of it's just about giving people hope that there's more that they can do. Chronic disease is such a huge epidemic now, and people don't realize that there's anything that they can do. They just, get stuck in this cycle of medication and side effects and doctor's visits, and that's it then for the rest of their lives. They're just sort of, become disabled and, living half a life kind of thing. So, I just share that science-backed information with them. We've got scientific studies to show that these particular things tackle the root causes of disease like inflammation, gut dysbiosis, oxidative stress. Those kind of things are at the root of all chronic diseases. So if we sort of, investigate further back, instead of just going for the quick fix, which is what we normally do, I've got a pain here, or I've got an itch there, or I've got this. So what tablet can I take? What supplement can I take? Without sort of drilling down and looking, what actually caused this in the first place? Right. What's causing the inflammation? What's causing the gut dysbiosis? And usually it comes back to things like an unhealthy diet, not moving enough, stress beyond belief. You've got all these stress hormones coursing around your body. They're not managing that stress properly with, breathing techniques and, and just actually looking to see where they can reduce their stress in their life. There's a lot you can do there. The toxins that are coming in from everywhere. Then you've got, not enough sleep, and then also, emotional health and connection. So as you were saying, just not connecting with other people. We're quite isolated, especially the young kids. This sort of lack of sense of purpose. So moving on to what does a meaningful life mean to me? It's being healthy enough to do all the things that you want to do in your life. So I spend a lot of time, watching my diet, trying to move. I've got a job where I sit at a computer most of the day, like most people, so it's that kind of forcing myself to get up every hour, move around, make that healthy salad to eat in the day. And, I'm trying to teach my kids that as well, so that I'm bringing them up to be able to navigate this crazy world that they're coming into. And, just being part of the solution as well, because there's a lot of focus on what's going wrong and climate change and things like that. So it's trying to sort of get that message across that there's a lot of hope there, and there's a lot we can do. We have to focus on what small thing we can do. It's living to my values, which is things like being honest and helping people where possible. So obviously this job that I've come into, I'm really living that, and that gives me a huge sense of purpose, which is another part of, you know, a meaningful life, is just doing work that makes you happy, that makes you feel like you're contributing, and then also just, you know, the wonder of nature. I mean, that just amazes me every day, taking the time to stop and notice that this big beautiful world that we live in. And I love to travel, so I'm always sort of amazed. I'd love to go to Hawaii actually, and you know, it's on the bucket list. So yeah, it's just
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What drew you to the amazing work that you do, and what important that is to, because you're not only securing feeling better at the moment, although this is a process, right? But long term.
Yeah,
right? Long term.
This is long-term sustainable health. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's a funny story because I did medical science at university, so that's my degree, and then I worked in healthcare for 20 years. But going into lifestyle medicine was a very personal journey for me because my dad died of heart failure at 55. And I'm 51 now, so I'm like, geez, that's in 4 years. And he was diagnosed at 45. So, I mean, you know, he had 10 years of basically, I watched him go downhill over those years. More and more medication. He slowly got to the point where he couldn't walk and fluid in his legs, and, you know, eventually died at 55. And, you know, there's a sort of history of heart disease in my family. So another uncle dropped dead of a heart attack at 58. My mum died of lung cancer, very young, 59. So, you know, it was kind of that legacy, you know, where you think, oh, that's what genes I've got. So I need to, if I don't want to go down this same path, I'm going to have to do something different. So I just got interested in, you know, food as medicine, and started reading a lot of books. There's a huge amount of stuff already out there on it. And the more I read, the more I got interested. So, you know, just by eating greens and salad, you're lowering your inflammation and you're tackling oxidative stress. And I'm like, or, you know, you do some deep breathing and you are literally hacking into your own biology, you know, switching your nervous system from fight and flight to calm and rest. And I'm like, that just completely fascinated me. And and then there was all this science to back it up, all these scientific studies. So I was like, right, you know, I want to be able to share this with other people. So I I found out that I was eligible to study lifestyle medicine. Usually you have to be a doctor to do it. But because of my medical science degree, I was allowed. So I signed up with the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, did the course. So that's quite good to know, is that there's a lot of doctors that are realizing that they're not able to help their patients right now, especially the chronically ill ones. So they are looking like, how can I help these people? So they are getting themselves trained in lifestyle medicine. So in the future, you know, it's going to be the mainstream way of treating chronic disease. It's just that, you know, everything in medicine moves very slowly, and you know, and at the moment, doctors, that's what they are taught in medical school, which is, you know, diagnose based on symptoms, prescribe medication or surgery, you know. So and it's great to know that they're doing that they're teaching themselves. And so
it's from someone who is in that world, it becomes very frustrating to feel like to say you have control over your health too. And these are the things, and then to hear, just give me a pill and I'm going to go on my way. And the thing to say, I want to give that power away. You have the power to help heal yourself. It's not about just what I can give. And but that's a change in mindset in much of society, and it is. I see some of that happening, you know, but I just go back to now the feeling of that's part of that being present with ourselves to look at it and to have the courage to say, "Ruh-roh, I ought to do something different."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most people that I
To
speak
have
to,
someone on your side, to say, "Yeah,
yeah,
you do. Let me help you with that." And there's no shame, no blame. Let's go forward.
yeah, definitely. I mean, most of the people that I speak to at first say, "Oh, it won't work for me. Mine's genetic." And then when I tell them that the science shows that it's only 5 to 30% at the most that is actually genetic, that means 70 to 90% is within your control.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a real eye opener for people. And they just think, and it's not like you're suddenly blaming them for that they've got themselves in this position. It's just like it's giving you tremendous power over your own health outcomes. It means there's things that you can do to change it if you want to.
Do you think
And then when you
oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted somebody there. Do you think the next generation will see this differently? What do you see down the line?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got 3 children myself, 3 teens, and already their outlook on life is totally different to the way, they're a lot healthier. They already know about, how to eat healthy. They're into meal prep. They do a lot of meditation and these kind of things. So, they're in a crazy world, but they have a lot of tools already. And then, and they're open to learning about this stuff. So that's great. I mean, the problem that I've got is that a lot of the clients I work with are our age group who just kind of, grew up in where nobody really knew about this stuff. And so they just suddenly find themselves with these diseases and like, is it possible for me to change? And, what's amazing is it's only one set of changes that tackles them all. So it's not like you have to do one thing if you've got high blood pressure or one thing if you've got cancer, or it's just the same 6 basic things, get those kind of, foundations of good health in place and you tackle it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really hopeful and inspiring for people.
I think so too. Thank you so
Carmen, I love what you said about mindset, because it's a mindset. And so I'm working with my partner right now. He's very big on longevity and health and food was always my weakness. I was always very fit and active, and I'm learning so much, but I had to have that mindset shift for myself and realize the importance of, if I nourish myself properly, I can have longevity in my life. I can heal these ailments that are within me, within myself. Like, that's powerful.
Food is medicine. Yeah. Like just that thought, food is medicine. Enjoy.
I when I was a child, I remember hearing one of my grandmothers. She had, since childhood, she had some, I think it was like some form of arthritis. Some fever was starting, and then when she got older, her fingers started to get crooked, and she refused to do regular medication and all of this. So she started to meditate, and it all gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember it made such an impression as a child. So like, I know it works. So I'm glad there are people like you, Liv, that really dedicate yourself to show people the way of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
And it's such a beautiful thing that it's the lifestyle, because it's the lifestyle, it's doable. It makes it realistic. And then this incredible example that you're sharing with your kiddos, they don't have to do one certain thing for different, just have your lifestyle be one that serves your health.
Yeah. Just support your body. Yeah.
Beautiful.
What a choice.
Yeah. And it's not all or nothing either. It's not as if you can, you have to be completely healthy all of the time and never do anything that's maybe not healthy, because that's not sustainable for anyone. It's just kind of knowing that, if you've got a disease, you have to go all in to support your body to get that reversal of those disease processes. And then when you're healthy, then you can choose. Then you can be a bit more 80-20. You can have that slice of cake. You can, have that glass of wine, and it's fine. Your body can handle it because you're constantly putting all that goodness in to support it most of the time.
That's great hope. Mm-hmm. I
Awesome.
love that. Well, thank you so much. I want to welcome Liz to the table here next. And yes, Liz Goll Lerner is an author, transformational coach, psychotherapist, and a communication expert. Welcome, Liz.
Hi.
Hi. I'm excited to hear what your input on leading a meaningful life
Hmm.
and for yourself.
Well, first, it's just amazing to be here with all of you, amazing women. We're all doing such incredible, having so much incredible impact in the world. And it's, I could take everything that all of you said and say, that's it. That's what I do. And that's true. However, there are a few other little things. Um, one thing you said, Carmen, really struck me because I'm also an artist, and I think that and all of you really, this connection to that inner world, that spirit, the energy that exists all around us, that exists in us, that we can activate and use and um, really focus on our intuition and guidance in connection with the things we know, right? The things that are visible, the things that, we have either created mindset or changed our mindset or evolved in our mindset. And I think for me, a meaningful life is really about service. It's about how do I not only hopefully be present in the moment and really pay attention to what is and the joy that's potential all around us every day. I mean, you're a flower person, but the flower behind me, if I don't appreciate that flower, I lose something, right? And my life has less meaning. But I think it's, my work is really about bringing people from the darkness to the light, whatever that darkness is, and doing it through head heart connection and mind body connection, and really helping people know how to use all of themselves and all of what's energetically around them and in them to have the best life that they can possibly have. And sometimes that's about communication, and sometimes that's about Liv, what you're saying, being really in alignment with understanding the power that we have to assist our health, and sometimes it's really about helping people understand. And for myself, I mean, obviously, for me anyway, everything that I've ever learned or done, I've turned into something in my work. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, well, everybody else. It's like I had to do it to teach it,
Mm-hmm.
But I think this recognizing for myself earlier in my life and in terms of my work in sharing this with people that what we believe is true is not always true about ourselves or about a situation. What we feel is not our identity. It's a choice, and people don't really, takes a while to understand that we have a feeling, but we are not that feeling. We have it. So that means we have choice about it. Right? Right. I have sadness. People say I am sad or I am happy or I am this or I am that all the time, but really we are us. And we have a feeling, right? So then we can have more power, more self-responsibility, more joy in our lives because we can actually understand it better, right? So I don't know, I'm kind of going on and on, but
I
this
have
is kind of it for
I have
me.
an aha moment with that, Liz. I had a guest, Susan Meredith, who's a physicist, and she talked about the laws of nature in looking at the laws, our lives and our choices, which you're talking about choices, and the it's really hard for us when we're having an experience and a feeling to not buy into that story 100%.
Yeah,
And maybe for a while we need to, and then to say, okay, enough of that now. Let's look at another story or another part of the story. And one of the things she said was, well, it's like in physics, if you're going one direction, you'll just keep going that until something is stopped. And then you
yeah,
could turn around. And she said, when you're in the midst of it, just remember you could turn around and see it from the other side. So
exactly.
simple. Just stop and turn around. And that to me was profound in simplicity. I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, just stop and
You
turn
know,
around.
what you're saying right now, I think is so important because I think it's the simplicity of a lot of things that we miss. And so many of the shifts and answers and roadways to a more integrated or peaceful or joyful existence are very, very simple.
Mhm.
And I think one of the most simple things, one thing that's been really wonderful for me is a connection to nature. That's why we all talk about go outside, breathe,
Yes.
um, be connected, feel the earth, because it brings us into a different energetic space where we um, there's something not only uplifting about being in nature, but
Mhm.
it also we see that not the things that we think are so critical are so small in comparison to the very big world
Yeah.
and the sky. And
Yeah.
it's not that being small is a insignificant thing, but it puts things in perspective quite a bit,
Yes,
I think.
absolutely. And
you
we
know
are nature, right? So to
yeah,
be
we
in nature is like
absolutely
going
we're
home.
yeah, we are, what is it? You would know, Liv, whatever percentage we are of water.
I think 80%.
70%. About 70%, yeah.
Oh, 70.
I was just
Sorry.
going to say, I mean, nature can actually have a physical impact on us, so going into the woods and things like that is actually impacting your gut health and, the negative ions when you go by the sea and you've got the waves there, impacting you on a physical level. It's just like we've got to get out in nature and,
Hmm.
and let it change us in that way. And as
Right.
you
I
say,
just
just
did a
putting things,
study on exactly what you're talking about. There's a study out now about
yeah.
how much green, how much being connected to nature, whether it's in a city, around surrounding by trees, or really people have measured the brain waves now of the deep effect that being
Mhm.
out connected to nature has on us.
Yeah.
Even digging in the
Positive.
dirt, like
Yeah.
touching
Yes.
soil, all the microbes, and it's
Yes.
like it's a antidepressant. They say there's
Yeah.
something in the soil
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
good.
Feet.
I love digging in the dirt, so
Me too. Let's hear it for Gaia.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can't get outside, surround yourselves. I mean, if we look,
Yes.
I know some of you, but you've got greenery around or things that bring you joy. And for me, if I can't be outside in the flowers or it's wintertime, I've got them around me. And that makes me happy, right?
Mhm.
And I know on a chemical that changes, well, it certainly changes my outlook for the day, right? Because I'll
Mhm.
stop and go, oh, that's pretty. And that seems insignificant, but it's not
Yeah.
in how my
You think
day
even
goes.
like a single house plant or just growing a
That's
few
right.
seeds on your windowsill, you know?
Yes. And watch them grow because
Mhm.
what happens in nature, the cycles of nature, happens to us as well. I mean, I tell the
Mhm.
story. I looked out and my granddaughter was looking at, I have rose bushes, one planted for every, and named for every child, every grandchild. So I've got
Oh,
8 in my yard and I named them and my granddaughter walked by, she goes, mine's not doing as good. So a comparison. I'm like, all right. Here's the thing with nature is a great lesson for us is that every plant knows when to bloom, when to grow, when to rest, when it's going to look like it's dead, but it's resting and then it comes back. I said, so check back toward the end of the summer or the fall. You will be flourishing because that will be your time. Just
Oh, how
Yeah.
great.
you know,
Ah,
it's so simple. It's just so
Yeah.
simple.
I
And
mean, that brings us on to circadian rhythm as well. If we just get ourselves in proper alignment with, the light coming up, the light going down, even flowers, I mean, they kind of turn towards the sun and turn away from the sun. And,
yeah.
so yeah, it's just about getting back to nature, isn't it? And living life the way we were supposed to live it.
Mm-hmm. And you
ah,
can have a brand new bud with an older flower, and you know what? They're both queens. They're both there, looking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They're just at different times. You see where I'm going with this, ladies?
I
Yeah.
love it. I'm going to throw in something else that you said, Liz, that is so huge. And I can't wait to hear what y'all think about this. But the fact that you said, if we make a statement, the power of words, I don't think people really grasp that. And I know it's a different conversation, but to say, I am lazy,
Yep.
rather than, goodness, I'm having a lazy day.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Force is beyond incredible. It affects our whole
everything.
yeah, our whole everything, our whole our physicality when we speak them.
Mm-hmm.
So it is so important.
And
What
not one thing, like you said, we are who we are, and we have different feelings and different experiences at different days. Even if two children, and I hope that the audience is listening to what Liz had said there, because it's not that a child is bad, a child may make a bad decision.
Mhm.
And I think that so many of beliefs, like the other thing you said, everyone has said that there are ways. There are beliefs that are true, and then there are beliefs that are not. We are not one certain thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that you shared that. Thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are just amazing to me. I've had so many light bulb moments and I hate to close it out, but we're gonna have to pretty soon. But I want to close with everyone. I would love to hear for you where you're at. And if there's like no comparison, nothing else, like how do you define success? How do you define success in your life? I'll just let y'all jump in. We don't have to go in any order.
Presence.
Hmm.
When I'm present in the moment and actually, just presence.
Me too.
Presence.
Yeah, it sounds so simple, Liz. It sounds so
But
simple.
it's hard. I mean, it's hard for people, but actually
Like,
being
like, excuse me, I'm trying to talk to you. Like, oh yeah, I'm listening too. And like, oh, that's
yeah,
not being present. Yeah.
real presence,
Mm-hmm.
connected, being integrated, connected, in alignment in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the success is when they understand the power that they have. So clients of mine or my kids, and then they go out and they teach that to other people, and you have this whole like ripple effect where it's just kind of touching more and more lives, and that's success for me.
Yeah. When an impact exponentially. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For me, it's feeling at peace with how I am living my life and being in peace in everything that I'm doing, because I still work full time. It's chaotic. My world's chaotic. But because there's meaning behind the other parts of what I'm doing, I can take that chaos and still be at peace with it.
And then maybe I can speak to success too, but I never ever thought about the notion even of success. I don't know why, but it wasn't on my radar. But if I have to say something about success, I feel like when I show up in the fullness of my being and can give fully from my heart, and then it, all the love that is within me is shared with others as intended and with pure intention. Sometimes you get stressed and then, oh no, get irritated and say something a little bit wrong way, then I feel like, oh, I failed. So if I am in that state of being where there's only love flowing through me, out from me to others and can uplift others' heart, then I feel like, oh, that was a good day, or now I'm in the right place. Yeah, for me, that's success.
In the flow.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm going to say, kind of thinking of each of your words, presence, and Melissa, peace, and Liv, impact, and how that spread from what we're doing, and then showing up in the fullness of love. I mean, come on, that's just incredible. And I'm going to add to this beautiful list because each of those are so deeply ingrained in success, I think, for myself and for all of us. But when I show up in gratitude, when I'm grateful and I'm not, gap versus gain, and I think everyone's heard that in different ways, but I'm grateful for it's okay what I've done and I haven't done. This is where I am. And yes, maybe I want the list of what I want to do is enormously high, but I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to take the next step in gratitude and in presence, in love, and make that impact. I mean, I'll tell you, I just appreciate what I'm going to wrap up as your words for you all. And Carmen, lifestyle. The fact that everything you do is about the art of a meaningful life. I feel like that. I kind of feel like crying, but anyway, I just thank y'all so much because it's this, it's just so much of all of the things, and I'm grateful.
Carroll, and to close out I hadn't really thought I was going to contribute this part. I was like wondering what you all were going to say. And as I'm listening, and when you said gratitude, Carol, I'm thinking the amount of gratitude I have. First of all, like the idea popped into my head, and I thought, I'll just send out a message and maybe somebody will want to do this, right? And the right people will show up, because I do believe that the people who need to be here will show up and it'll all be fine. And without a strong agenda, I'm like, I think we'll talk about this, we'll see how that goes, and just have faith. And I could have it is beyond what I could have imagined. This has been such a meaningful, beautiful conversation. See, now I'm gonna cry. Conversations. And I would say, even, like so many years ago, or 8 years ago, when I transitioned from my career in nursing to what I do now, the thought of hosting a podcast and speaking to such amazing people wasn't on my radar. And now look. So to me, yeah.
Thank you so much for having all of us.
Yes,
you.
wonderful, really.
Thank you for this meaningful life. You're part of it.
What a lovely bouquet of flowers here.
Right on. Yes. Well, thank you. And for our listeners, if I'm just gonna like dry it here, be sure and check out the video description, because you can connect with all these wonderful ladies. And we really look forward to your comments, because I think this was an incredibly moving conversations all around. And so thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.